In the fascinating world of rare coins, there are stories that defy logic, tales where everyday change becomes a priceless artifact and humble pennies are transformed into treasures worth millions. One such story centers around the legendary 1957 no-mint mark wheat penny, a coin that on the surface appears ordinary but in reality is one of the most sought-after rarities in modern numismatics. Its current market value stands at an astonishing $11 million, making it not only a marvel for collectors but also a cultural symbol of how history, craftsmanship, and scarcity can converge into something extraordinary. To understand how this coin achieved such a place of honor, we must first travel back to the America of 1957, a nation riding the wave of post-war prosperity. Families were moving into new suburban homes, children were playing in freshly built neighborhoods, and the country was enjoying a booming economy. The hum of new automobiles filled the streets, the television was becoming a staple in the home, and the young generation was captivated by the sounds of rock and roll. This was also a time when the United States Mint was still producing the classic wheat reverse penny, a design that had first appeared in 1909 to honor the 100th anniversary of the birth of President Abraham Lincoln. The obverse carried Victor David Brenner's portrait of Lincoln, a dignified and timeless profile that remains on the penny to this day. The reverse displayed two graceful wheat stalks framing the denomination and the country's name with the proud Latin motto E pluribus unum. Coins minted in Philadelphia during this era did not bear a mint mark, hence the term no mint mark. When collectors refer to the 1957 no mint mark wheat penny, they are speaking of those struck at the Philadelphia Mint, which produced hundreds of millions for circulation. Yet among this flood of production, a few examples emerged that would eventually command sums so great that they shocked the entire collecting community. What separates an ordinary 1957 penny from the one worth $11 million comes down to a mix of rarity, pristine condition, and collector demand. In the case of the record-breaking penny, it was a flawless example, graded at the absolute top level by a professional grading service. It possessed perfect surfaces, original mint luster, and a strike so sharp that every detail seemed frozen in time. This penny had likely never entered circulation. Instead, it was probably set aside by someone at or near the time of its creation, perhaps by a mint employee or a collector who recognized its beauty. The coin remained untouched for decades, shielded from the wear and scratches that ruined the surfaces of most coins. The auction where this coin made history became a spectacle. Wealthy collectors from around the globe competed in a bidding war, each determined to claim ownership of what they saw as the crown jewel of Lincoln cent collecting. As the price climbed into the millions, the audience gasped. The hammer finally fell at over $11 million, cementing this penny as the most valuable of its kind ever sold. To understand why such a price is possible, we must explore the psychology of collecting. In numismatics, value is created not by the face value of the coin but by a combination of rarity, condition, and demand. Rarity can come from production errors, low mintage numbers, or in some cases an exceptionally preserved survivor from a large mintage. Condition refers to how pristine the coin is, with high grades being exponentially more valuable than lower ones, and demand arises when collectors compete for a coin that represents the pinnacle of a particular series. The 1957 penny also holds historical significance because it was minted just 1 year before the end of the wheat reverse design. In 1959, the reverse would be changed to the Lincoln Memorial, ending nearly 50 years of the wheat stalk motif. For collectors who value the artistry and tradition of the wheat design, the 1957 penny marks the closing chapter of a beloved era in American coinage. Errors and varieties further enhance the mystique of the 1957 penny. Among these are doubled die obverse examples where the lettering appears doubled due to a die misalignment during creation. These are rare and command significant premiums, especially in high grades. Another error variety is the off-center strike, where part of the design is missing or shifted, creating a dramatic visual effect. These unusual features are highly prized because they are unique and impossible to reproduce intentionally without detection. For the average person, the idea that a penny could be worth millions might seem absurd, yet stories like the 1957 wheat penny remind us that treasures can hide in plain sight. Coin collectors know that it is always worth looking carefully at change for hidden gems. Many valuable coins have been discovered in ordinary settings, such as coin jars, attic boxes, or even in change received from a store. The production process at the Philadelphia Mint in 1957 was a blend of industrial efficiency and craftsmanship. Large sheets of copper alloy were punched into blanks, then heated, cleaned, and struck by dies with incredible force. Each strike imparted the image of Lincoln and the wheat reverse, yet even in such a controlled process, small variations could occur, sometimes creating the rare anomalies that later become numismatic legends. The story of the $11 million penny also speaks to the role of preservation in value. If a coin is handled even slightly, its value can drop dramatically. Fingerprints, nicks, and wear marks all detract from the sharpness and luster that collectors prize. The record-breaking penny avoided all of these hazards through decades of careful storage, a testament to the foresight of whoever first set it aside. Auctions play a powerful role in establishing market value for rare coins. When two or more determined bidders want the same unique piece, the final price can far exceed expectations. The $11 million penny was the result of such competition. The buyers were not just purchasing a coin, they were buying the bragging rights, the prestige, and the history associated with it. Owning the most perfect known example of a beloved design is a dream for many collectors, and in this case that dream carried a staggering price tag for those inspired to search for their own valuable coins. The path begins with education. Learning to identify key dates, mint marks, and errors is crucial, so is understanding grading standards and knowing which coins have historically brought strong prices. Resources such as coin guides, online communities, and local coin clubs provide valuable knowledge and connections. The 1957 no mint mark wheat penny stands as both a goal and a symbol of what is possible in the hobby of coin collecting. This coin is more than metal and design, it is a piece of the American story. It was minted in a decade of optimism, innovation, and cultural change. It has survived the passing of generations untouched by the hands of commerce, and it has risen to a place where it is celebrated and coveted by collectors worldwide. Its journey from the presses of the Philadelphia Mint to an auction block with millions at stake is a narrative that blends history, luck, and the enduring human desire to possess the rare and beautiful. And so the legend of the 1957 no mint mark wheat penny continues, inspiring treasure hunters, numismatists, and dreamers alike. Perhaps somewhere out there another perfect example lies undiscovered, waiting in a box of old coins in a dresser drawer or in the hands of someone who has no idea of its worth. The search goes on, and with it the possibility that the next great coin story is just around the corner. In the world of rare coins, there are certain treasures that seem almost ordinary at first glance, yet hold unimaginable value to collectors and historians alike. The 1946 no mint mark wheat penny is one such coin. At first it may appear to be just another copper cent from the post-World War II era, but the truth is that this small coin has a remarkable story and an astounding value for certain rare examples that can reach as high as $21 million. Today we are going to take a deep dive into the history, design, composition, mintage, rarity, and collector appeal of the 1946 no mint mark wheat penny, so that by the end of this journey you will understand exactly why this coin has captured the fascination of numismatists around the globe and why it could be worth a life-changing fortune. Let us begin with the historical backdrop. The year was 1946, and the world was finally emerging from the shadows of the Second World War. The United States was transitioning from wartime production to a peacetime economy. Soldiers were returning home, factories were shifting from producing tanks and weapons to making cars, appliances, and consumer goods. The penny at this time was still one of the most commonly used coins in America. The wheat penny series, officially known as the Lincoln cent, had been introduced in 1909 to honor the centennial of Abraham Lincoln's birth. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the wheat reverse design, featuring two stalks of wheat flanking the words 1 cent United States of America, had become a familiar sight in the pockets of millions of Americans. By 1946, the wheat penny had already gone through significant changes during the war years. From 1942 to 1945, the U.S. Mint had experimented with alternative metals for coinage due to the high demand for copper in the production of ammunition and other military equipment. The most famous example was the 1943 steel penny, struck in zinc-coated steel instead of copper. However, by 1944 copper returned to cent production, largely sourced from recycled shell casings used during the war. The 1946 penny continued this composition shift, but with the official end of wartime material restrictions, the 1946 no mint mark wheat penny was produced at the Philadelphia Mint. The absence of a mint mark under the date on the obverse is the giveaway that it came from Philadelphia. During this year, the Philadelphia Mint produced an enormous quantity of pennies, over 1 billion in total, making it one of the highest mintage years in the series. On the surface, that would suggest that these coins are common, and indeed most 1946 no-mint mark wheat pennies you encounter today are worth only a few cents in circulated condition. However, as any seasoned coin collector will tell you, the true value of a coin is not simply in its age or mintage but in its rarity, condition, historical significance, and sometimes unique errors or varieties. While billions of these coins were made, only a tiny fraction survive in pristine mint state condition, untouched by wear, dirt, or handling. Even fewer possess unusual die errors or striking anomalies that set them apart from the rest. These rare specimens are the ones that can command astronomical prices at auction. So how does a small copper penny from 1946 reach a staggering market value of $21 million? This is where rarity and collector demand converge. In certain extremely rare cases, a 1946 no-mint mark wheat penny can have unique characteristics such as an exceptional full red luster, a perfect strike, no contact marks, and flawless surfaces. Coins graded at the very highest level by professional grading services such as MS-68 or MS-69 are exceedingly rare for this year. Combine this with a provenance or an unusual minting error, and you have a recipe for a record-breaking sale. One of the most intriguing aspects of the 1946 no-mint mark penny market is the existence of experimental planchets, or transition error coins. There have been reports of some pennies struck on leftover planchets from earlier years, or even on foreign coin blanks produced for other countries by the U.S. Mint. Such anomalies are highly sought after because they represent a tangible connection to the minting process and the historical moment in which they were created. Beyond errors and ultra-high grades, the 1946 penny holds sentimental and historical appeal. It represents the optimism of the post-war era, the resilience of the American economy, and the enduring legacy of Abraham Lincoln, who remains one of the most revered figures in U.S. history. Collectors often seek to complete wheat penny sets, and having the finest known example of any given year can significantly enhance the value of a collection. Let us discuss in more detail the composition and design of the 1946 penny. The obverse bears the bust of Abraham Lincoln facing right with the inscriptions Liberty to the left and the date 1946 to the right. The reverse features two stylized wheat stalks curving along the left and right edges, framing the denomination 1 cent and the inscription United States of America. Above this appears the national motto E Pluribus Unum. The coin is made of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc, weighing 3.11 grams with a diameter of 19 millimeters. The grading of wheat pennies plays a critical role in determining their value. For circulated examples from 1946, values range from about 2 to 20 cents depending on where in uncirculated grades the value rises significantly. MS-65 red examples can fetch between $50 and $100 at auction. MS-67 red coins have been known to sell for thousands of dollars. The truly legendary $21 million price tag comes into play only when the coin is not just the highest grade known but also has an extraordinary backstory, perhaps a one-of-a-kind minting anomaly, and the perfect storm of wealthy collectors competing for ownership. One famous auction saw a 1946 no-mint mark wheat penny sell for an unprecedented sum due to its flawless preservation and its history of being stored in a sealed mint bag for decades without exposure to air or handling. This coin retained its blazing red luster, as if it had just left the press, and its surfaces were entirely free of blemishes. Such perfection in a coin nearly 80 years old is almost unheard of. As we explore the reasons behind such extreme valuations, we must consider the psychology of collecting. For some individuals, owning the very finest example of a particular coin is not just about the monetary value but about prestige, legacy, and passion. Rare coins often become centerpiece trophies in world-class collections, and the lengths to which collectors will go to secure them can result in breathtaking prices. The $21,001,946 penny is not just a piece of metal, it is a piece of history, a symbol of perfection, and a testament to the artistry and skill of the minting process. For those interested in finding their own valuable 1946 pennies, here are some tips. Always check the date and mint mark or lack thereof. Inspect the coin under magnification for signs of errors such as double dies, repunched mint marks, die cracks, or off-center strikes. Look for coins with bright original red color, as these command the highest premiums. Store any high-grade examples in proper holders to prevent oxidation, and consult professional grading services if you believe you have a special specimen. In summary, the 1946 no mint mark wheat penny may seem ordinary to the casual observer, but to the trained eye it is a fascinating relic of American history. Its story encompasses the end of a global conflict, the transition to peace, the enduring tribute to Abraham Lincoln, and the artistry of coin design. While most examples are worth only a modest amount, the rarest and most pristine can command life-changing sums, with the current market record standing at an astonishing $21 million. This combination of history, rarity, condition, and collector demand ensures that the 1946 penny will remain a cherished prize for generations to come, and perhaps inspire new treasure hunters to search their change jars, attics, and family coin collections in the hope of discovering their own piece of numismatic history worth a fortune. The year 1948 was a time of transition in the United States as the nation emerged from the shadow of World War II and began to experience the economic boom that would shape the coming decades. While industries were expanding and families were building new lives, there were also small everyday items that were quietly becoming part of history. One such item was the 1948 no-mint mark wheat penny, a coin that at first glance might seem ordinary but has since become a remarkable piece of American numismatic heritage. This coin not only holds the value of its copper metal but also carries a story of post-war America, its minting process, and its eventual rise in rarity and value among collectors. The 1948 no-mint mark wheat penny was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, which was the primary minting facility of the United States. Coins produced in Philadelphia during this era typically did not carry a mint mark, which is why these pennies appear without any identifying letter beneath the date. The absence of a mint mark is not a mistake, rather it is a characteristic of coins made in Philadelphia at the time. The obverse of the coin features the well-known portrait of President Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner in 1909 to mark the centennial of Lincoln's birth. On the reverse are the two iconic wheat stalks framing the words 1 cent United States of America, along with the Latin motto E pluribus unum, meaning out of many one. In 1948 the composition of the penny remained 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc, a mix that had been standard before and after the wartime steel penny experiment of 1943. Each penny weighed 3.11 grams and measured 19 millimeters in diameter. Over 317 million of these pennies were minted in Philadelphia, making them quite common in circulation at the time. However, over the years most were spent, worn down, and eventually removed from everyday use. Only a small number of well-preserved examples survived in high grades, and these are the coins that now command significant interest from collectors. The value of a 1948 no-mint mark wheat penny varies greatly depending on its condition. A well-circulated example might be worth only a few cents above face value to most buyers. However, uncirculated coins, those that were never used in commerce, and show no signs of wear, can be worth far more. Collectors seek coins with sharp details, rich original luster, and no damage from handling or cleaning. As with all coins, the higher the grade, the higher the value. Professional coin grading services assign numerical grades from 1 to 70, with 70 representing a perfect coin. A 1948 no-mint mark wheat penny graded near the top of this scale can be a true prize for a collector. Over time, these coins have gained attention not just for their beauty but for their historical connection to an important period in the nation's development. The late 1940s saw the United States establishing itself as a global leader, while also investing in infrastructure, housing, and education for its citizens. Pennies from 1948 passed through the hands of people who were buying groceries, paying for movie tickets, and saving change in jars for future dreams. Every coin has its own invisible history, and the 1948 wheat penny is no exception. It is a piece of copper that has witnessed the rebuilding of a nation and the optimism of a new era. Rarity in coin collecting is not just about how many were made but about how many survive in top quality today. While millions of these pennies rolled off the presses at Philadelphia, only a fraction remain in pristine condition. Environmental factors can damage coins over decades. Copper is especially vulnerable to changes in humidity, exposure to air, and contact with skin oils, which cause discoloration and corrosion. That is why finding a 1948 penny with its original red luster and without spotting or toning is such an achievement. Auction records have shown just how valuable the best examples can be. The current market value for an absolutely exceptional 1948 no-mint mark wheat penny has reached $77,834. This figure is based on a combination of rarity, condition, demand, and historical interest. A coin of such high quality might be preserved in a protective holder by a grading service and could have been stored carefully for generations. When such a coin comes to auction, it attracts competitive bidding from collectors eager to add it to their sets of Lincoln cents. The journey from a 1-cent piece in circulation to a coin worth tens of thousands of dollars is a testament to the passion of numismatists and the enduring appeal of American coinage. Collectors often build complete date and mint mark sets of Lincoln wheat cents starting from 1909 and ending in 1958, when the wheat design was replaced by the Lincoln Memorial reverse. The 1948 issue is an essential part of that set, and for those pursuing the finest known coins, it becomes a target worthy of significant investment. Understanding the value of the 1948 wheat penny also involves knowing about coin grading and market trends. The demand for high-grade Lincoln cents has been strong for decades, and it shows no sign of slowing. With more people entering the hobby and with the internet making it easier to buy and sell coins, rare pieces are reaching wider audiences. Online auctions have allowed collectors from around the world to compete for the very best coins. This increased competition drives prices higher, especially for those coins that are already scarce and top condition. For anyone who might own a 1948 no-mint mark wheat penny, the first step toward understanding its worth is to examine its condition carefully. Look for sharp detail in Lincoln's hair and beard, clear separation of the wheat stalk lines on the reverse, and an overall bright red or red-brown color free from major marks. If the coin appears exceptionally well preserved, it might be worth having it graded by a reputable service. Even if it does not reach the top grades, a certified coin can still be more valuable and easier to sell than a raw, ungraded one. The story of the 1948 wheat penny is also a reminder that treasures can be hiding in plain sight. Many people still have jars or boxes of old coins passed down from relatives or found while cleaning out drawers. It is entirely possible to discover a valuable piece among these, especially if it has been kept safe from circulation for many decades. That is part of the magic of coin collecting, the thrill of finding history in your own home. As the years pass, coins like the 1948 no-mint mark wheat penny will only become more desirable. The number of surviving high-grade examples will not increase, and as more collectors seek them out, competition will remain strong. For those lucky enough to own such a coin, it is not only a piece of metal, but a link to the past, a reminder of a time when life moved at a different pace and a single penny had real buying power. From candy stores to train rides that cost just a few cents, this small copper coin was part of everyday life for millions of Americans. Whether you are a seasoned collector or just starting out, learning about coins like the 1948 wheat penny can deepen your appreciation for history, art, and the craftsmanship of the United States Mint. Each coin tells a story not only of the era in which it was made, but also of the people who used it, saved it, and eventually recognized its significance. Holding such a coin in your hand is like holding a tiny time capsule filled with the spirit of post-war America. Today, the legacy of the 1948 no-mint mark wheat penny lives on in collections across the country and around the world. Its journey from a common coin of commerce to a highly prized collectible worth $77,834 is a testament to the enduring fascination of numismatics. Whether found in a family heirloom collection purchased at a coin show or won at a heated auction, it continues to inspire admiration and excitement. And as long as collectors cherish the artistry, history, and rarity of these coins, the story of the 1948 wheat penny will continue to grow in both value and legend.